Okay, so I woke up again and decided to play a little bit more. And this is where we last left off in the last video. Had the little girl and the cat dressed in plaid. And then I went, I don't know, I can't even remember if I'm on Pinterest or on Etsy. It must have been Etsy because you can't just drag and drop in Pinterest. But I found this little dog that somebody had made, and I like the style of it. I love that scratchy drawing. Well, I didn't want the dog, but I did want that style. So I did a copy of it, and I said, do the cat using this style. And this is what it created. It made it a scratchy cat instead of that smooth cat like that. And then I said, do the cat. Oh, well, I said, oh, I must have had to repeat it because I have to tell you several times my internet goes down constantly. So it looks scratchier in this picture, but anyway. And then I said, do a little girl using this style. And that's what it created. And then I said, I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm the one writing on the right and the AI is writing on the left. And this is really kind of like a chat when you're talking to a real friend. That's the style of this. So you tell it what you want on the right and it comes back and tells you on the left. So this is the little girl that it created. And then I said add color because I wanted it color. Well, that's very, very cute. I like that. But then I said put her in a purple and gold LSU shirt with purple shorts and no background because I'm in Louisiana after all, in LSU. All right. And then throughout this whole process, my internet's been going in and out, so it probably came back and said that there was a problem creating it, or if it stops it, it'll say I can't finish it. And so instead of letting it finish that, I said have her holding a poster that says "Go Tigers." That's the way you spell "go" in Louisiana. And crayon, like a 6-year-old. And even see, my spelling is awful even with this thing, and thankfully it kind of ignores it for me. It says have her holding a poster that says "Go Tigers" in crayon like a 6-year-old would write it. And that's what it did. How cute is that? And it also included a cat, which is precious. I have no idea why it put Landry down there. I don't know why it did that, where it got it. Okay, then I said put a smaller version of this on the bottom of a post-it note with the right corner flipped up. Add a piece of tiger print washi tape to the top. I meant to say corner, and I said cover. Now I'm sure that's AI doing it. I mean, the auto spell check thing, and I don't pay close enough attention, and it put cover instead of corner. Okay, and this is what it created. Very cute, but it's not small and in the corner. It put a little post-it note down in the bottom right corner, and it added a little boy. It's cute, but it's not what I want. So I came back and I said no little boy and make her smaller so that there's room to write a note. And there, it did it better. Cute, cute, cute. However, it put that yellow background, which is normally would be all right, but I want to use the post-it note as a post-it note on a daily page. Okay. So I came back and I said perfect, but make the background white. And it spun and sputtered, and I don't think, see, you're tempted because you think it feels like a person on the other side. You want to say, yeah, that's it. You're doing good. But really and truly, you have to use the up arrow, I mean the up thumb, to make it feel good about itself. Because I think it kind of hosed it up here. And then I stopped it and I said, or it stopped itself because of the internet. And I want a white background, because when I tried to pull this into Zoom Notes, just drag and drop it into Zoom Notes, I had to deal with that yellow background color, and it's real grainy, so I couldn't do a clean transparency around the outside edge. So I said, make the background white, and this is what it created. Precious, very cute. And then I just drag, let me move this over because let me do this. See how I put it in here? But what I did, I drag, let me I'm putting my finger down on it and drag and drop it. And see how big it made it. I hate when it does that. I hate when it does that because I automatically have to go and resize it. No. I'm taking it into the edit and resize it down. And I do that every time I create something because I don't want all that white around it. A couple of reasons. When you're trying to select it or select something near it, it almost always crosses paths with a different something, and you end up selecting it. No, the problem is if you try to select it, you don't know where to put the selection thing. I use the drag select, which where you put the square around the outside edge. And I know there's other ways to do the select, but that's what I have gotten used to, so that's what I have it set to. And if you don't select the whole image, it doesn't select it. So you have to know where to draw the rectangle for it to select it. Well, I would rather it be close in so I don't have to deal with that. And two, let me go ahead and do done here. If I had see, now it's this. If I had a table, well, I can't tell if it drew it. Okay. Let me make it 4 by 4. Oh, that's good. All right, and I drag and drop it, select it, and drag and drop it into that table. It's going to fit inside that square and be basically the size of the square. But if I had this, let me go back and drag and drop this one again, as is. Come on. Oh, I can't do it from there. I have to do it from here. Drag and drop. See, now if I try to move this out of the way, try to put it in that table, well, I'm trying to, let me select off of it. There, okay. Now if I drag and drop it into that table, I put it here. See, it makes it much smaller. It's filling the area with all that white. And to avoid having to deal with that, I go ahead and crop it right away. And then I took it into, because see, it doesn't have a drop shadow. So I took it into transparency. No, I'm about to lie to you. I don't think it'll let me take it to transparency right now. Yeah, it does. Okay, if I fill it up, do the fill, and see, you have to, now I'm going to have to do the paint to get it closer to that side right here. My hands are so not steady enough for this activity. But I'm just taking out that bottom corner and do save. Now I can do find shape because I want a drop shadow. See, this one has a drop shadow up at the top. So I do find boundary shape, and I have the shape automatically putting a drop shadow on it. It's not ideal because it's getting that, you know what I could do? Maybe what I'll do is get rid of this right here, the washi tape edge, just so I can create that shape around it. So I'll take this and let me straighten it up. Then crop that, go to edit, and go ahead and take that tape off so that I don't get that drop shadow. Do done under the tape. So now if I do a fine boundary shape with that piece, fine boundary shape, see, I don't have the drop shadow under the washi. So I'm going to get rid of this, well, that shape, and put this shape, nope, this one. To turn it a little bit. Under it, and now that makes the tape right. All right, so, and then I just added today's date. I thought that would be cute, you know, if you built your planner image to have a place where it would write the text. When you create the planner, it automatically adds that post-it note, and we'll put the date in it. And you do that by adding the \DT, and that will put today's date no matter what today is. You know, tomorrow it would be Thursday the 17th. If I put the \B D date, DT. God. Y'all, I'm telling you, getting old is awful because the words don't come as easy anymore. So, what was I going to tell you about that? See, this is an example of why, well, I've already cropped that, but this one right here. See, if I don't know, if I take that off, and of course you can see it because it's got stuff under it, but if it's all white under there, you don't know how big that shape is, and you're trying to select it, you don't get it when you try to select it like that. See, that's why I like to crop all that stuff off too. Anyway, that's where I'm going to stop. I'm going to get rid of all this other junk off of this today's page so that I have room to put some of today's stuff. Now I can put this over here. See, there's an example of the date is huge. But I didn't bother with trying to change it yet because I'm trying to cover up this one right here. There. See, if I have it set to adjust the size of the text. So if I want to make it smaller, I would need to turn that off. And it's just, sometimes it's not worth the effort, but I'll go ahead and do it. That scale font size, turn that off. Now I can select it, move it up, and this font, that's better. Okay. Now, cute. You know, and you could still write a little note over there if you want to. Note. Okay. That's all for today, I think. the way I do this, I might think of something else in about 10 minutes. Have a good one here. Bye.